Good morning from London Heathrow Airport. We were supposed to fly home tomorrow, but slight change of plans and we had to cancel our flight home on United. So instead of flying premium economy, we've decided to go first class on British Airways. Today we're going to be flying on British Airways Boeing 787 Dreamliner, which is a really cool setup with a small cabin of first class, only 8 seats, so it's going to be a really great experience.
Some of the flights I take cost £10,000, okay?
So our flight home in first class normally costs £9,000. That's over $12,000. But we were able to book that with American Express points for less than £500 today, and if you stay tuned till later in the video, I'm going to show you exactly how we did that.
Right, so I go first class, BA. Oh, it doesn't get any better.
Yo, my name's Jeff, and I believe the journey is half the fun. After a lovely stay in London, our drive to the airport started early in the morning, about 30 minutes away from London Heathrow. We left plenty early for our flight so we'd have time to enjoy the lounge and not feel rushed. We dropped off our car at Hertz and took the shuttle bus directly to Terminal 5. When you walk into Terminal 5, if you venture down to the far right, you'll find the British Airways First Wing, a unique check-in area for first class and their top-tier elites. The queue moved rather quickly, and after a quick pass through security conveniently located just a few steps away, you pass through this long hallway that leads directly to the first class lounge. As a special treat, British Airways invites customers booked in a first class seat to the iconic Concorde Room. We quickly settled into a nice spot in the back and were immediately handed breakfast menus. Not wanting to spoil our appetite for the in-flight meals, I went with a simple bacon roll and Amanda had some fruit. I love the views above the terminal and looking out in the giant windows to the tarmac below. There was a nifty Bloody Mary setup, plenty of empty space throughout the lounge, sleeping pods available, and a very well-stocked bar. They even have a dedicated dining room available, but they'll be happy to serve you anywhere in the lounge. Concorde fans will appreciate the incredible memorabilia here, commemorating the over 30-year history that British Airways flew the Concorde from here at London Heathrow Airport. Before long, we headed downstairs to the main part of the terminal, resisted the temptation to buy any Harry Potter merchandise, and headed over to the gate. And unfortunately, this is where we discovered that we were boarding at a bus gate, and there's really nothing first class about the British Airways boarding experience here. Isn't it ironic how much they do for safety when it comes to cost cutting, but let's just cram in one of the bus. Now, like I've said before, if the airlines were concerned about safety, they wouldn't make you do things like cram into a crowded bus and then wait for 10 minutes. And whereas other airlines like Lufthansa offer private transportation for first-class customers, BA really misses the boat here, especially for flights that can cost as much as £10,000. Now, all that being said, I can appreciate that this is a pretty cool way to board a giant airplane like a Boeing 787. And as I've said before, it's a great day anytime you turn left, and today we'll be passing all the way through the business class cabin to the front of the plane in first class, which is really especially exciting. As we walk through the business class cabin, we notice that they're in a 232 configuration with alternate seats facing backwards for more room. Have you flown in business class on British Airways? Tell me what your experience was like in the comments below. Now in the front and first class, we have a standard 1-2-1 configuration with just 8 seats here in rows 1 and 2. How awesome is this? We're on board the British Airways 787-9, and what's really cool about this plane is there's only 8 first class seats. It's like a mini cabin. A lot of the other planes have a lot more, and there's actually only 3 of us on board today, including myself and Amanda, which is pretty cool. Also, the flight attendant said it was her first time working first class, and I think she's just as excited to be here as we are, so it's really going to be a great flight. Later on, I'll show you around a little bit, and then we'll kind of take a look at some of the unique features of the seat and the service, and then I'm going to show you how we booked this flight so cheap, so stay tuned. Feel free to pause the video as I peruse the rather impressive British Airways first class menu for our lunch today and afternoon tea, which I'll be looking forward to later. They also have a very impressive drink selection with plenty of great champagnes, wines, soft drinks, and spirits to enjoy. Amanda is kind enough to show us around her seat. There's a large screen with headphones and bedding provided, as well as pajamas and a lovely amenities kit. There's no shortage of places to store things, and even a vanity mirror in case you'd like to touch up your makeup mid-flight or wave hello to all of you who are watching now. This little cubby has more than enough room for a water bottle, and the TV control is located here as well. The leg rest pulls out in case your legs aren't long enough to reach. This bed is actually much longer than what you typically enjoy in a business class seat. As you can see, this setup offers plenty of privacy, and we're lucky to be 2 of just 3 passengers flying in the first class cabin today. One thing that really set this flight apart from early on was the incredible service and high level of attention to detail. It was really amazing and really fun to experience.
We're making the world a better place, one person at a time, making the world a better.
We pushed back just a few minutes late, but I was certainly in no rush to get home, and we had a very short taxi to the runway today.
And it starts right now.
If you hold down this button all the way to the right until it lights up green, you'll know that your seat is ready for takeoff. Now, despite being one of the busiest airports in the world, London Heathrow operates with just 2 runways. The airport doesn't have any overnight traffic, so it stays quite busy from the early morning hours throughout the evening. Today our flight takes off from runway 9 right, heading into the east, and we'll quickly make a right turn to head west out over the Atlantic. And since Amanda and I are flying together today on opposite sides of the plane, we're going to give you some takeoff footage from both directions, much to the delight of my fellow Av geeks watching from around the world.
I'd like to have my personal welcome to you all. Welcome back our executive club members and our more frequent clients.
Send me flying.
I loved how there was a tab on the headphones so that you know they had never been used since they were previously disinfected. BA offers headphones from Meridian, a really great high-end sound company, so there was no need to get the headphones from my bag. Wi-Fi was offered for free for first-class customers and worked fairly well throughout the flight. And now for the most important part of any flight review, the loo review. Here we've got a very standard Boeing 787 loo, which is, I guess, spacious enough, and has a great selection of sanitizing wipes, soap, and lotion. They even had cloth towels, which is definitely first class. The meal service started with a delicious selection of canapes. My personal favorite was the hummus-filled pepper.
The axis forgot to twirl when we were on top of the world.
For the starter, I chose the poached prawns, which were served in a really great lemon olive oil dressing. Check out this amazing British dinner. The main course was a 21-day aged roasted fillet of British beef.
But I can breathe the air.
So I just wrapped up my incredible dinner, and I had to say I ate so much I didn't have dessert, but the flight attendant was still kind enough to bring along some lint truffles. Here they've divided the business class section with not only a curtain, but also a rope.
Sir, I'm sorry, this is for first class passengers.
I know, but I
Your ticket is for 11C.
Now let's go ahead and take a look at the first class amenity kit from British Airways and see what we got. Now, one cool thing I noticed is, just like the headphones case, it's got this little tab on it, so you can be sure that no one's used it before. My first impression is that this is just absolutely stocked full. I think I've never had such a full amenity kit before. Standard socks, very nice. Got a BA first class eye mask. Got a facial wipe, a nice dental kit, So there's deodorant in here. That's really cool. Of course, we gotta have the lip balm. Wow, we got shave gel too. That's awesome. First class tissues, a comb, some sort of special cream for men. I'll have to check that out later. Got some earplugs. Not gonna use those today, but I'll definitely save them for an overnight flight in the future. We've even got eye cream, the British Airways first class pen. How cool is that?
We're not in the dark anymore. They built these walls.
So I started making my bed, and the flight attendant came over and made it for me and busted out like all these amazing pillows, this incredible bedding. I have to say, it feels like just as good as any 5-star hotel bed I've ever slept in. It's really amazing. This is a daytime flight, so I think I'm pretty lucky that we got pajamas and all this. Usually with a lot of airlines, you don't really experience this on a daytime flight, even in first class, but British Airways certainly does it right. It's really awesome. So I'm just gonna chill out for a little bit, maybe watch a movie and relax for a bit, and maybe I'll get a little sleep. We'll see, who knows.
We're rising up, rising up. This is our time to come together.
I especially love when an airline embraces the culture of its country, and British Airways does this incredibly well, offering a uniquely British experience with afternoon tea. All right, the flight's almost over. This has been amazing. I would have to say this is like one of the best, probably one of the best 3 flights I've had in my entire life. I've had nothing but great things to say about this experience. It's been really fun. One thing to note is we almost booked business class, and luckily we waited an extra day because first class availability is sometimes really tough to come by, but it popped up right when I went to book the business class flight, and it's just a few more miles, so definitely worth it. One of my goals of this channel is to encourage you to have experiences like this and show you just how attainable it can be. One of the best ways to book last-minute flights is using miles or points, because oftentimes additional availability opens up a few days before. As I mentioned earlier, the cash price for this flight was £9,000 or over $12,000 at the time, but we were able to transfer 96,000 AmEx points to the British Airways Avios program, and at the time they were offering a 40% bonus on transfers to Avios, so that was enough points for off-peak first-class tickets, which were 68,000 points each. You still have to pay the taxes and fees, which are quite high flying from London, so that was almost £450 each. But nevertheless, that was my most valuable points redemption to date, with a value of 25 cents per point once you factor in the extremely high cash price of the flight. I find the best value in Amex points because they can be earned across multiple cards, such as my favorite, the Platinum card, and can be transferred to so many different airline and hotel programs to maximize the value of your points. Anytime they offer a bonus like the 40% offer we took advantage of for this flight, that's one of the best ways to maximize your points. If you'd like to see the latest Amex offers, check out my referral link below and earn up to 100,000 points once you sign up for a card and make qualifying purchases, which, as you've now seen, could be enough for 2 first-class tickets across the pond. We'll be landing in Boston soon, back home, back to work, back to another busy week, but had a really great time in England.
Lights pushing through the ice in shoots.
As we made our final approach back home to Boston, it was a great opportunity to reflect on just how lucky we are to have this experience and the opportunity to see the world this way. I was especially grateful to the crew on our flight, as well as everyone else we interacted with from British Airways, who made this a true first-class experience, even though I had never flown BA before. The cabin crew in particular was exceptional. They were all very friendly and seemed genuinely happy to be there. It really made for an experience that was well beyond our expectations, and one I know I'll never forget. My only criticism comes from the bus boarding experience, but I can easily overlook that given the rest was so fantastic.
Thank you for your cooperation, which is essential in efforts to slow down the spread of COVID-19.
My name's Jeff. I believe that travel helps to build a more peaceful planet, and I hope to see you on my next journey. Peace out. Thank you so much. Thank you for the great service. It's really awesome. Thank you. Thanks very much. Have a great day. Look at you, first one off the plane.